going on, movie lovers? Welcome to Apocaflix Movie News, our weekly movie news podcast where we break down the biggest movie news stories throughout the week. I am your host, Jacob Bartley, and we have a special show for you today as the gang is back together. We have all three of us back together, Giorgio Ramos and Jake Berlin. First of all, Gio, it's been a while. It's been like over a month. How you been, man?
It's been way too long, man. I've been good. I've missed you guys. I couldn't listen to another podcast of you guys mumbling on and all that, so I had to get back on.
I'm sure we'll get into some of that later, but Jake Berlin, how's it going, man?
Good. Glad to be back. Glad to have Gio back as well. The three of us, man. It's been a while.
I know, it has been a while.
Missed you guys.
Might you be referring to talk about Captain America and Superman, I'm guessing?
Well, a little bit. I don't know how you guys think Captain America is more American than Superman.
Maybe it has to do with the name. I don't know.
That or just the current iteration of the characters.
Or he's selfish, only thinks about himself.
What?
We can have this debate. I was watching Civil War last night again. Great film. You might want to check it out. But anyways, we're not here to debate Marvel and DC. It'll probably anyway. But ironically enough, our first topic technically is Marvel, even though it's
Fox Marvel.
Studios, So while we had expectations for Deadpool, I think it's safe to say the first R-rated superhero film blew them out of the water, and all the credit is awarded to director Tim Miller and Ryan Reynolds. Following the complete success of the original, the entire crew was to stay intact for the sequel until earlier this week. Deadline dropped the news earlier this week that although amicable director Tim Miller has left the project due to creative differences. While details are scarce, many reports claim that the differences came with the star and producer Ryan Reynolds, who obviously holds a lot of power with the franchise. So Gio, you hear this unfortunate news of Miller's departure. What do you think about it, and any possible replacement directors you have in mind?
So for those of you who watch football, it feels like Tim Miller just kind of Brock Osweiler'd his career,
He does have a big project coming up, but I totally get the reference.
You get the reference, yeah. It's sad on one hand, you never want to see a director depart. What the team did together as a unit for Deadpool was a huge success. Jacob, I told you, the more I watch this movie, the more I'm liking it more and more. It's a while for me to click. But let's not act like Tim Miller directed like this was a difficult project to direct, in my opinion. I felt like Reynolds, he's been after this for so long. He is Deadpool. You could literally turn the camera on, press record, and then Ryan Reynolds, go be Deadpool. Follow the script, but go be Deadpool.
That's true.
And he can do that. And I bet you there was so much improv that he did on set. So I'm not going to say Deadpool was the most difficult film to direct, but I'm not trying to take away any credit from Tim Miller. I think Deadpool 2 will be just fine. As far as a replacement director, I didn't come up with any names, but I can resort to Matthew Vaughn. The guy,
that would be awesome.
R-rated comic book material. Awesome. He knows how to do it. So, yeah.
Jake?
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Tim Miller, he was on board with Ryan Reynolds and the writers for, 10 plus years or whatever with this project, trying to get it made from Fox. The reasoning, there is no details as far as what the reasoning is, but a lot of people are saying it is because of the possible casting of Cable, which is very interesting. Maybe he's leaving the project because he didn't see a certain actor that Fox wanted as the character. And I would tend to side with Miller on that just because look what he did with the character of Deadpool in the first. I mean, a lot of that is obviously due to Ryan Reynolds, but Miller has been on this project just as long. He knows the character inside and out. It's very unfortunate, but I think that they will get the right director. There's a new report going around that they're actually trying to get the John Wick director to try and get Deadpool.
That would be perfect. I've never even heard that.
Yeah, so that's an interesting choice. It's something very different from Matthew Vaughn. Matthew Vaughn, I think, would just absolutely kill it. Yeah, I think he's somewhat of the obvious choice. And I don't know if you guys saw the petition going around as well to get Quentin Tarantino directed.
I heard about that.
Which is just
never going to happen.
It's just outlandish and crazy and unrealistic. But either Matthew Vaughn or the John Wick director would be something very cool just because of the action. Ryan Reynolds obviously brings the comedy himself. He knows that part of the character, so that would be very easy. It's an unfortunate loss, but I think that bringing someone new to the project wouldn't be a bad thing. So.
Yeah, we're never going to know how much involvement Tim Miller had as opposed to what Ryan Reynolds did. I would kind of say they maybe co-directed the film together in a way, and I think you're right, Gio, about how he didn't have to direct Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds just went and did his thing. They had a script. They kind of improvised with the writers on set, like we've heard. But I do think you need a real director in there to handle like the other actors' performances and the structure of the film and the action, and all these little other things that go into filmmaking, and then the editing and all that. So I do give Tim Miller a lot of credit. The thing is, there's hundreds of thousands of other directors out there that can do the same thing. It's unfortunate. You want to keep the team together and keep that chemistry going, but it really is unfortunate. I would prefer for Tim Miller to direct Deadpool 2. If I had one choice, it would be him. Since he can't do it, I mean, I didn't even think about the John Wick director. But like I said, you don't necessarily need the director to come and focus on the comedy. Ryan Reynolds has that covered. You need someone to come and focus on the action and everything else involved in like
understanding the source material.
Well, and it's the same writers, if I'm not mistaken, so that's even more of a plus for them.
Oh, for sure, definitely. So I think as long as you can find someone in who can just manage the technical aspects of filmmaking and be able to direct action and all that, I think they'll totally be fine. I mean, if it's not Tim Miller, I'm totally down for the John Wick director.
Yeah, you don't need a Tom Brady to quarterback this thing. You can get an Alex Smith or
a Dak Prescott.
Maybe even a Dak Prescott,
Yeah, why not? Why not? All right, so after years and years of trying to push forward with the film adaptation of the highly popular Uncharted video game franchise, Sony may finally have the project on track again. As reported by Deadline, Sony has tapped director Sean Levy to helm the first big screen attempt of famed explorer and treasure hunter Nathan Drake. Levy is known for his work behind the camera on Real Steel and the Night at the Museum franchise, as well as big producing credits on Netflix Stranger Things and this year's Arrival. No casting announcements have been made yet, but expect them as soon as reports claim Sony is fast-tracking the project. So I'll go ahead and start this. I think, why not? It's a great choice. He directed a few films, and the big thing, like you said earlier, Jake, is the Stranger Things, being a big producer on that, and like you said, directing a few episodes. That really catches my eye. And I don't know anything about Uncharted. I don't know anything about the character of Nathan Drake or anything like that. So I don't know which director it would fit more. So as far as just on the surface level of this, I think Sean Levy's a great choice. Gio?
I'm with you. I'm not too familiar with Uncharted. He's the Nathan Drake character. He's along the lines of Indiana Jones, right?
He's basically Indiana Jones, but he's more of a killer, from what I've been told.
He's an R-rated Indiana Jones, even though Indiana Jones kills.
He's basically a modern day Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Look, Uncharted. I think it's safe to say it's going to be like an action adventure. And you look at this guy's resume, and action and adventure movies is kind of his forte. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for it. I know they've been trying to get this project off for years. You get a director like this guy on, he kind of his forte fits with what they're trying to do here, so it works for me. And I mean, he has a lot of credits, so I have faith in this guy. Finally, maybe the Uncharted movie will be coming soon.
Yeah, seriously. I think that Sean Levy is a pretty fantastic choice. We mentioned, or Jacob had mentioned, his producing credits and directing credits. The big one for me is Stranger Things, just because of what type of tone and setting that was able to capture. Obviously, when it was first released, people were going just nuts for it. And he directed Night at the Museum. Some people may be shaking their head at why they got this guy to do Uncharted. But if you take away the kind of kiddie aspect of it, it's a very adventure film. Mm-hmm. Like, there's very adventurous aspects to it. And I think he can do that very well. He has a blueprint in place with all the video games. The script is actually from Joe Carnahan, who was actually supposed to direct it.
Yeah.
But now is on for Bad Boys for Life. So that's a big deal. But I think Levy's a great choice, and he's producing Arrival, which is later this year. It's getting major buzz. It's something different. He's got the video game as a backing, and if Assassin's Creed kills it later this year, Uncharted could be the next big franchise. I mean, I think that this video game is built for a movie franchise. So
yeah,
and a lot of people like Real Steel. Like,
I really enjoy that movie. Yeah,
a lot critically, it's kind of underrated. Like, a lot of people really appreciate that film. I would have to revisit it. I remember I watched it when it came out, so I don't really remember it that well. But I remember it was kind of charming with the Hugh Jackman character with the kid and the story they were trying to tell. So it's not just Night at the Museum. If you consider the Real Steel movie and then the Stranger Things stuff, I think he can make something pretty special with this source material. All right, moving on to something that I'm super excited to talk about, and I'm sure Jake will be too, maybe Gio. So finally, after Lucasfilm revealed that a young Lando Calrissian will be joining a certain young smuggler in the upcoming Han Solo spinoff, Lucasfilm and Disney revealed who will be playing the former owner of the Millennium Falcon. Donald Glover, known for The Martian and his own FX show Atlanta, and also as a rapper, Childish Gambino, for those of you who don't know that, has been cast as young Calrissian and will join Alden Ehrenreich in the adventures of young Han Solo. I hope the movie's called that. The Adventures of Young Han Solo, a Star Wars story. In 2018, the extent of his role has yet to be revealed, but THR has reported that the film will include how Lando lost the Falcon to Han in the first place. Jake, you've mentioned Glover as young Han Solo before. How do you feel about this?
I love it. Like you had said, I've talked about him a few times when we talked about the announcement of Lando being in the movie, who we thought. You mentioned him being a rapper. He actually left the show Community to pursue his rapping career. His show Atlanta just got renewed for a second season. It's in like 4 episodes in or whatever.
And it has to do with rap, I think.
Yeah,
right?
and so he's a very talented guy. He can act, he can produce, he can rap, he can do all this stuff. We saw comedy and Community in The Martian. We've seen drama in Atlanta. Many people are questioning, he's not going to be able to be Billy D. Williams, but is Alden Ehrenreich going to be able to be Harrison Ford? Like, you can't compare the two. They're completely new characters at this point. They're younger. They're going to be different people. You have to give these guys a chance. I think Glover and Ehrenreich together is going to be very, very interesting. I think out of all the choices, he's the best choice, and I'm very excited. I think that it'll be interesting if that report's true. If it shows how he lost the Falcon, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool idea. I hope he's in the movie more, but I also wouldn't mind just him being in that one scene where he loses the ship and then is in the movie or in another movie later on. Because there is rumors going around that Ehrenreich signed like a 3 or 4 picture deal.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
So that would mean that the Adventures of Han Solo and Lando Calrissian or something like later on in the franchise. But Glover is Lando. I'm excited to see him back on the big screen. That's for sure.
Gio?
Yeah, I echo everything you said. It's finally great to see an actor who didn't get his first goal that he wanted, which was to be Spider-Man. He was really, lobbying for that role.
For that, yeah.
He wanted to be that, but to go from a Marvel character to a Star Wars character like Lando, it's pretty awesome.
This is almost better and bigger, and it depends though.
Yeah.
Who knows? He still could be Miles Morales one day.
Well, he's in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, that's right.
He's cast in the movie.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm excited about it. Donald Glover. He's shown me enough to where I can. Everyone last year or before The Martian was like, Donald Glover, and I'm like, what is so special about this kid? I see The Martian. I see a little bit of the show Atlanta. This guy is really good. And he has that charisma, and I'm excited to see his chemistry with Ehrenreich. Is that how you finish?
Ehrenreich, yeah.
Ehrenreich, yeah. So, I'm excited about this. But like you, Jake, I'm also curious. Well, maybe not you, but everyone else. How different is this performance going to be from Billy D. Williams? Because Billy D. Williams had that deep voice. He had that swag, and I'm not saying he can't pull it off, but I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm wondering are these two characters going to know each other before the game of the ship, or do they become friends after he wins the ship? That's what I'm interested in, because that brings a totally different character to the table as far as their relationship goes. So.
Yeah, this is absolutely perfect casting. I can't think of a better name. I know we threw around Michael B. Jordan, but he already is well known in the acting community, and he has a ton of things going for him right now. I think this is huge for Donald Glover. This is a role that's going to put him into prominence, and he deserves it. I think he's talented enough, and you have to have charisma if you're going to play Lando Calrissian. You have to. And as far as comparing them to the actors who played them before, you can't. If you're going to complain that he's not Billy D. Williams, then you lost the argument already, because our only other option is not have a young Lando or have him. He can't be exactly like Billy D. Williams. And we have the same problem with Ehrenreich as Han Solo. Like, they're not going to be mimicking Harrison Ford and Billy D. Williams.
Yep.
You don't want that. They're going to have the same characteristics but put their own type of spin on it, and they're the younger versions.
They're totally different characters.
We don't know exactly how many years apart they're going to set the story from episode 5, right?
5, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Empire Strikes Back. It's weird to call it episode 5. But either way, if it's 15, 20 years, people change over time. So if it's 15, 20 years younger, they're going to be kind of different people, you know? So I'm totally fine with them like changing the character up because it's going to be a different time period for them. And I love this casting. I think this guy deserves it, and I think it's perfect.
I like that, Ehrenreich is obviously a very unknown name to the majority of moviegoers. Glover is still unknown, but he's kind of like on the rise.
Well, if you don't know his name, you know his face.
Exactly.
You know?
So they're kind of, making up for not knowing Ehrenreich as much. Mm-hmm. But then we also have the female lead casting that has yet to be announced. Maybe they get some big name for that. And you have a draw right
because
there. So
you kind of need that, Yeah. But I think that as far as the story goes, I think they're going to meet in this movie.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be their first meeting and then how Han wins the ship.
And so, I don't think I would love for it to be like they're with each other the whole time, but
I think it'll be like 1 or 2 scenes where they're big scenes, but then he'll be just within the story.
Yeah, I'm kind of like maybe like Spider-Man and Civil War in a way.
Like that he meets and then he goes on and does something else.
I'm fine with that because I think we're going to see him again.
Oh, yeah,
I think they're casting all these younger versions because they're going to keep telling all these stories. Mm-hmm. Like they can play, while they're young right now, they can play these characters before episode 4. And as they age, they can play them in between episodes.
Well,
like
think
6
about
and
it.
7,
You can also tell a story like a Lando anthology, how he gets Cloud City. Like there's stories for him on his own as well.
Or just a story around that has Lando as a main character.
It all depends on how people receive this.
Oh, definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think, the big gap in between 6 and 7, you can use these
actors. There's a lot. That's 30 years.
To play Lando and
because he has the ship. He's with Leia and Luke in the Rebellion. And
let's say they do the trilogy before episode 4. And then take a break from Han Solo movies for a while. And then as Ehrenreich ages into the role, have him play Han Solo after episode 6. There's so many possibilities to do with this.
And if I'm Lucasfilm, I'm signing all of them to 9-picture deals or something.
Right?
Like Sebastian Stan, yeah.
All right, we can talk about Star Wars all day, but it's time to move on to our first trailer of the day, starring Shia LaBeouf. The Dido Montal directed Man Down received its first trailer this week. The film follows former U.S. Marine Gabriel Drummer as he desperately searches for the whereabouts of his son in post-apocalyptic America. It also stars Kate Mara, Jai Courtney, Clifton Collins Jr., Gary Oldman, and has a limited December 2nd, 2016 release date. Jake, you watched this trailer. How do you feel about it, man?
I like the trailer, and it's interesting because the synopsis is much more. It's described as a post-apocalyptic thriller where he goes off searching for his son and whatever. The trailer doesn't give off that vibe at all. It's kind of like a what happened before this in a way, and how he's battling PTSD, and before all of this kind of goes down. You see glimpses of it where Shia is laying on the ground, almost like a homeless veteran. He's with Jai Courtney walking around in some gear. There's some images where you see him finding Clifton Collins Jr. with Jai Courtney. So a second trailer obviously is probably going to dive into that a little bit more. But I enjoyed it just because it showcases what these veterans go through after what they experience in war and whatnot. And Shia, man, he's just like whatever you think about him off camera and in his everyday life. The guy's an incredible actor, and he's been putting in strong performances after strong performances. You have Lawless, Fury, a couple indie films here and there. So I really enjoy him as an actor. I think that this is just going to be another performance. Jacob, you said earlier this Oscar race is going to be crazy. I think so too. I think this is the type of movie where he gets real big attention from fans and real critics around. So I like the trailer. I'm looking forward to the second trailer just because of what it really kind of introduced. So. Yeah,
this trailer was incredible, and we've seen a lot of trailers lately where either the music is horrible and does not help the trailer.
This one was really good.
We've seen trailers like Logan where the song was made for the trailer. I think it's not as good as Logan, but this song really worked for this. I don't know why. It felt right.
It fit.
And because it was kind of juxtaposing what was going on in a way. And man, I had no idea this movie was coming out, honestly. And it just, Shia LaBeouf is totally underrated, and I think like mainstream wise, people just pay attention to his off-screen antics. But watch Fury, watch other things that this guy has been in. He is an incredible actor, one of the best working today, and I think this is finally going to get him that recognition. Whether that means an Oscar nomination or a win, who knows? It's going to be really tough this year. There's a lot of high-profile performances that are looking like they're coming out this year, so it's going to be tough. But as far as this trailer goes, it was a beautiful trailer, and I can't wait to watch his performance. And the thing that really got me was when I saw him laying on the ground by the
with
freeway,
sign
like the homeless vet. I was like, wow, like this. It's going to be interesting to see that, because I can't think of a movie that's touched on that in recent memory. So it's going to be really interesting to see that. Gio, you watched the trailer. How do you feel about it?
Oh, I love it, man. This could be a year of comebacks for like Mel Gibson, Shia LaBeouf. Like I'm loving it. And as for the story goes, in a lot of ways, for a Marine or a serviceman coming back from war, in a lot of ways, it's like they're coming back to like a post-apocalyptic America where like they don't know this country anymore. They're coming back to change, not the same person. They struggle on how to refit in with society, because all they know and all they've been around is gun war, violence and all that kind of stuff. So I'm very interested in this kind of project, in Shia LaBeouf. This is the type of role that for him to like really dive deep. We saw it in Fury, the stuff that he did to prepare for the role, whether it was pulling out his own teeth, cutting his own face to get authentic scars. Like, this is the type of role for him to like really like get in there, and be that. Is it a method actor?
Method actor, yeah. Kind of what Jared Leto does.
What Jared Leto does, but only I feel like this one's gonna be so much better. Great cast, so I'm really looking forward to this.
All right, our next trailer is the second trailer for M. Night Shyamalan's upcoming horror thriller Split. It stars James McAvoy and Anya Taylor-Joy and tells the story of Kevin, a man with 23 different personalities living inside him. Compelled to abduct these 3 teenage girls, Kevin reaches a war for survival among those contained within him as the walls around him begin to shatter. Split hits theaters on January 20th, 2017. Gio, let me ask you, we just watched this trailer. How do you like it?
Creepy. I'm gonna say the same thing.
Man.
Yeah, say the same thing I said about the first trailer. McAvoy, perfect for this role. Very underrated actor. We all know him from the X-Men franchise, but this guy can really act. You've seen a movie like Trance, or there's another one that he did recently. Filth
is the cocaine one.
Yeah. Just great actor. And Shyamalan, this could be his sophomore hit, so to speak, even though he,
sophomore return.
Return. There you go. Yeah, and it kind of hints more at the story. Like, there's more to this than than just this guy.
Just the
here.
kidnapping.
Like, the kidnapping. Yeah. What is this beast? We keep hearing these weird noises. It's
it is an M. Night movie.
It's gonna.
There's got to be some giant twist at the end.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing with the early reviews. Not really a spoiler, but man, I'm so in a January release movie. Like, horror movies in the January usually suck. But this could be a great one.
Here's the thing. I love this trailer, by the way. Both the first and second trailer, like, they're so creepy. And I'm not a huge horror fan, but when the concept like intrigues me, I'm so into it. Like,
when it's not just jump scares.
Yeah, it's not. This is not a horror movie. It's more of a thriller in a way.
Exactly.
But it has tons of horror elements. And if I just saw this trailer and I didn't know it was M. Night and I didn't know anything else about it, I'd like, oh, that looks interesting. But the thing is, I've seen The Visit, and I love The Visit. Like,
well, it was in your top 10 last year, right?
It was like right on. It was like number 11, but I wanted to put it in my top 10. But regardless, I love that movie, and I respect that M. Night Shyamalan is not going away from his twists. Like, a lot of people bash on him because he's always going to have a twist in his movie, and he's not going away from it. He's sticking to it.
That's
and
his
for the
signature.
most part, like, I haven't heard any negative feedback regarding The Visit. I've heard people say it was all right, like, it was better, it was a lot better than his recent films, or people say they love it. So, and I personally loved it. So this gets me so much more excited for this movie. I think it's going to be another comeback film for M. Night Shyamalan. I think he's on his way to a full comeback. But the thing is, I don't want to see him do a big blockbuster. I want him to keep doing these little films because the last one was amazing, and I think this one's going to be amazing. And man, and the fact that McAvoy agreed to do it says something. He can do anything he wants right now. So if he agreed to do this, he must have liked the story and the script and all that.
He believes in it.
Oh yeah, so I can't wait. His performance looks creepy. That music, like the screeching with the score, I don't know what it is, but wow, I can't wait. Jake, how do you like this trailer?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. It's good, and the first trailer was really, really good, and there's very much of the same footage.
Yeah,
in
there's
this
a
one,
lot of same
but
footage.
It's twisted in a way where it makes you think it's all new, and the music, we've talked about it, but it's just so fantastic, and I haven't been on a Shyamalan train in a while. I have yet to see The Visit. I've heard it's good. A lot of people enjoyed it from last year. I really like McAvoy in this role. I really like Anya Taylor-Joy, who was in The Witch.
That's
she's the
right.
young girl
I keep
from The
forgetting
Witch.
that. Yeah, she was good in The Witch.
She's a really good actress. It looks like it's poised to be a good movie, and being in January, it can be the steal of January. It can be the moneymaker, and I like that it's not just horror; it's more thriller. It's kind of going to keep you interested, and you're going to be trying to figure out what's going on and what's going to happen near the end, and all this kind of stuff going on. I'm just more interested in McAvoy's performance because 23 different personalities, and how he forms his body, and like all these.
We've only seen like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
of
like
them
that
in the
whole
trailer.
Hedwig, and then the old woman, and like all these, like Kevin. It's so interesting that I'm excited to see a Shyamalan movie, which I've never really said before. So
that's awesome. Yeah. I'm sure we'll all go see it in theaters in January.
Yeah,
I'm totally down. All right, well, moving on to our segment of the show titled Take One or Leave One, where we put 2 topics together and each of us choose which one we take and which one we leave. It doesn't mean that you hate the one that you're leaving. It just means you like the one that you're taking a little bit more. So our first matchup today includes a pair of new comments from 2 pretty exciting new projects. The first comes from director Shane Black, and while speaking with Collider recently, Black said the following regarding his upcoming Predator movie. I think it should be scary, I think it should be funny, and I think ultimately it should be wondrous and about perceiving things that human beings very seldom get a chance to see. The next comments come from director James Wan, who while speaking with Entertainment Tonight revealed the following about what kind of Aquaman he's going for. I kind of don't want to give too much away, but I know this. The spirit that I'm going for is like a classic sort of swashbuckling action adventure. Sort of high seas adventure story. It's ultimately a quest story in the spirit of Raiders of the Lost Ark meets Bromancing the Stone. The Predator hits theaters on February 28, 2018, and Aquaman swims into theaters on July 27, 2018.
Nice.
Jake, you always get me with the puns, man.
Yeah, I had to, dude. I had to.
But Giorgio, you're looking forward to Aquaman, aren't you? Which comments do you take? Which ones do you leave?
This one's not even a competition. It's
Really?
not even a question.
What?
Come on
I
now.
think it's a competition.
Shane Black's 2 for 1 right now. I give him what's the Robert Downey Jr. one?
Holy
God.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Bang
Iron Man
Bang.
3.
I give him
The Nice Guys?
Nice Guys, but I don't give him Iron Man 3.
I give him Iron Man 3 too.
I don't give him Iron Man 3. Anyways,
he's 3 for 3.
man, like James Wan, like I'm so excited to see his Aquaman. Like if there was one movie outside of Batman that you guys are most looking forward to, it's obviously James Wan's Aquaman because we know what he can do with horror. We know what he can do with action. What?
Regarding DC movies or just movies in general?
Oh, DC movies. My bad. I'm getting a little too ahead of
Any
myself.
movie ever.
Well, any movie ever.
All movies, no matter what it is, it's all DC for Gio.
Oh yeah, that's it, man. I mean, it's the way to go now. But I'm excited for this. Like anytime you get a like inspiration from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I've never seen Romancing with the Stone, but apparently like it's loved by a lot of people from that time. But you know, Raiders of the Lost Ark, it is the action adventure movie. And you know, you take the high seas, swashbuckling, you put it with Aquaman and Mira, who we know is going to be like, I mean, at least from the comics, is going to be like a badass. She's going to be right there fighting with Aquaman. It's going to be great. I'm interested to see what James Wan can do. I'm more interested in the effects. What is an underwater Atlantis going to look like? But I buy the James Wan comments.
Here's the thing. I trust James Wan, and I think that he knows what he's doing as far as filmmaking. So I'm going to take the Aquaman comments. Not that I don't trust Shane Black. I actually like what Shane Black said. It's very interesting and thought-provoking. Like, what does he mean by that? Wondrous things about perceiving and about perceiving things that human beings very seldom get a chance. I like those comments, but I happen to like the Aquaman comments a little bit more. Maybe because I'm looking forward to the film more than I am the Predator movie. But I do take James Wan's comments because if you look at the way his Conjuring movies are set up, or any other things that he's directed, you could tell that he really cares about the characters and the storytelling, and I think he's going to bring that over to Aquaman with him. I'm just curious, like, how much control he has and how much control the DC execs have. That's going to always worry me with Warner Bros. And DC, but outside of that, yeah, I'm going to take the James Wan comments. Jake?
Yeah, I really, really like Shane Black's comments,
yeah,
just
me
because
too.
A lot of directors who do these big blockbusters or big action movies don't really talk about the wondrous side of it, and a lot of present day blockbusters they miss the mark on that. And he knows this franchise in and out. He starred in the first one. I think he also had a writing credit to it as well, if I'm not mistaken. But so he knows this Predator franchise. But obviously, the Aquaman movie is just a little bit more exciting, and I think that James Wan's comments, even though that they are very exciting, his comments almost point towards him being a director for Uncharted, swashbuckling action
I could
adventure,
totally see that, honestly.
or like an Indiana Jones movie, or he always talks about Raiders of the Last Ark, but swashbuckling almost sounds like Pirates of the Caribbean in a way.
Yeah,
I get it; it's underwater, it's sea adventure, all that kind of stuff. But his comments they're very interesting and intriguing, and the Jason Momoa led Aquaman movie is very exciting, and a lot of people are getting on this train when a year ago they're joking about the fact that there's going to be an Aquaman movie. A lot of people joke about the character, but not anymore. You have James Wan, who just did Furious 7 and the 2 Conjuring movies. You have Jason Momoa, who is very loved by a lot of people from Game of Thrones and all these young, small action movies. And then you have Mira Amber Heard, who's loved by a lot of people as well. So it's a very exciting project, and James Wan comments, they only get me more excited. And I think he touches on things that we're just excited about. Kind of the Indiana Jones aspect is very interesting, because it's more of an adventure style, which didn't really seem to fit with Jason Momoa's style of Aquaman, which gets me even more interested to see what kind of Aquaman he's going to give.
Right.
Because we haven't even really seen him speak a word except for,
talk.
I think he told Batman to talk. And that's about it.
In the trailer.
In the trailer.
I was thinking of Batman Superman. Like,
yeah,
what?
so like, what kind of Aquaman is he gonna be if James Wan is going for a swashbuckling action adventure movie based on Raiders of the Lost Ark style? So that's what kind of interested me. So
I think James Wan is going to be very self-aware of like Aquaman, how he's been made fun of this whole time.
yeah.
They're going to play on that. We've seen
yeah.
that in the Justice League trailer already, and I think they're going to kind of make fun of themselves while also saying like "F you," those people who used to talk crap about Aquaman. Well, there you go, Gio. We talked about positive things regarding
Smart
DC,
choice picking James Wan. Smart
All right, our final verses of the show include some newly revealed titles. The first was first reported by Deadline, which they revealed that Millennium Films is currently developing a Olympus and London Has Fallen sequel, which will see Gerard Butler returning to his ass-kicking role of Mike Banning. The next piece of news comes from The Wrap, as they have reported that the upcoming film God Particle is in fact the next installment in the Cloverfield franchise, with the report also noting that J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot are developing even more Cloverfield projects for the future. So, and the London Has Fallen is going to be called Angel Has Fallen.
Angel Has Fallen. Angel
correct?
Is a code name for Air Force One.
Okay, so we have Angel Has Fallen versus God Particle for Cloverfield. So, Gio, you hear these two titles. Which one are you taking?
It's not even a competition again, man. No, in all seriousness,
Really?
Angel Has Fallen, it's got me intrigued because it's in a more confined setting, all right? I mean, we've already seen the White House and all that, but, I mean, to go from, like, White House to Air Force One, I mean, it's kind of reminds me of the movie Air Force One.
Yep.
And how, yeah. So that's exciting, but Cloverfield, man, like what this universe has been doing, this franchise, out of nowhere earlier this year comes 10 Cloverfield Lane. And I think I'm safe to say that we all love it. We all love the movie.
I liked it.
Some are a little bit
okay.
different on the ending, but I think the first however long, 75% of the movie, we all really enjoyed.
I love the 75% of the movie.
Yeah.
Love, and I could do without the ending.
Yeah, but you had to tie it into Cloverfield somehow.
Yes.
You had to give that. You had to make it in that universe. And so with God Particle, I think it's going to be a reverse of that. You're going to get more of the alien. Like, where did these creatures, where are they coming
hope
from?
so.
You know,
That would be awesome.
I think that's going to be great. I love the cast. You have David Oyelowo and I can't pronounce her name.
Gugu Mbatha Raw.
Is that the cast of God
Well,
Particle?
on top of others, yeah. There's
Really?
there's like 4 or 5 others who are big
Daniel
names as well.
Bruhl.
Daniel Bruhl's in there.
That's crazy. I didn't even know this movie was coming out.
Yeah,
This
well,
film's-
it's like Cloverfield. Remember
It's already
Cloverfield
developed.
Lane?
Yeah.
It's already shot. It's
Really?
coming out in
Yeah, it's
February.
exactly like 10 Cloverfield
So
Lane all over
It was
again.
like a surprise movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I'm taking God Particle. Love it.
As far as titles go, I mean, The London Has Fallen.
God Particle.
Angel Has Fallen is kind of cheesy in a way. I mean,
But it kind of goes with the franchise.
it does. The franchise is cheesy. I'm surprised they're making another one. I don't think that the second one did that great at the box office.
It might have done a good overseas though.
And I know these movies do well, like in VOD and
Mm-hmm.
Redbox and all that stuff. So, and they don't spend that much money on them. You can tell by the special effects. If you've seen London Has Fallen, and it's not a bad title. It does fit with the franchise. But I'm taking God Particle just because if I don't know anything about a movie and I see a movie called God Particle, it catches my attention right away. I'm like, that sounds interesting. What
Yeah.
does that mean? And I'm intrigued automatically. But the fact that it's connected to the Cloverfield franchise, don't get me wrong. While I was disappointed with the ending of Cloverfield Lane, I'm intrigued by what they're doing with this. It's kind of a cinematic universe, like in an unorthodox.
Well, that's what they talked about.
In an unorthodox way. It's like it's not direct connections, but it all exists within the same.
They
world.
said that they're going to try and release a Cloverfield movie every year.
I'm totally down with
Yeah.
that because if you can do something where you make different types of films, like the first one is a found footage horror monster movie, right? The second one is like a psychological horror thriller in a way, kind of. And
Give me a comedy dramedy.
whatever,
A
you know.
comedy drama,
Every
yeah.
year, early in the year, they release a different movie set in the Cloverfield universe, and they're all different. I'm down with that. That's something different, something we've never seen before. It's way different from the MCU, way different from like the Monsters universe we're getting from Universal. So I definitely take God Particle for what it means.
Man, the cast is just fantastic. I don't know anything about the director, but it also says something that people like, you know, from 10 Cloverfield Lane, John Goodman and Mary Elizabeth Winstead love the script. And then you have David Oyelowo and Gugu Mbatha Raw, David Bruhl, or Daniel Bruhl. They're getting into these movies because of the script. Like, that says something. You know, I don't know about the whole release one every year, get a connected universe going, but I'm excited to see more of these movies just because of 10 Cloverfield Lane. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the first part of that movie.
The first 75% before
If
she
they
ever
can-
goes outside,
If
like,
they can similar like that and intrigue us again like that, I can't wait to watch it. All right, so we're gonna end the show like we used to every week. Well, we haven't been able to because Gio hasn't been here, but we're bringing back Showdown Sunday, even though it's Friday. But Gio releases these articles pitting two things against each other every Sunday. So Gio, what do we got?
I have 2 in mind, but I need to ask. I know, have you both seen No Country for Old Men?
yeah, long time ago.
Probably not enough to like have an opinion on it. Really.
Okay, so we're gonna go with Plan B. I was watching The Town the other day, and man, God, it's such a great movie. Like, every time I watch it, I just get surprised again and again of how great it is and how great Ben Affleck is as a director. But is he better than Mel Gibson?
Oh, frick.
Mel Gibson, we all know he's done Braveheart.
Jesus.
He's done Passion and Christ, which mixed received. He's also done Apocalypto, a movie I saw once upon a time that I didn't actively watch, but I'm eager to watch it again. He has Hacksaw Ridge coming out. We've heard great things about that. Ben Affleck has Live by Night coming out. We expect great things from that. Who do you choose?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Go
just
ahead.
Because,
Go ahead.
So my reasoning behind this decision is solely based on because I've seen more films from one of the directors.
Yeah.
I've yet to see Apocalypto.
Okay.
I've yet to see Passion of the Christ. Braveheart is Braveheart. It's in my top 15, 20 films of all time. And the fact that Gibson also just came out and said that there's so much more footage he's never
An hour.
released. Like, that's crazy. But I've seen every one of Affleck's films. And I'm going to take Affleck solely based on that decision. And I'm going to say right now, I 100% believe that my decision will flip 2 weeks from now when I see Hacksaw Ridge. I will go Gibson, but right now I'll go Affleck.
Well, I think you can make your decision after you see Hacksaw Ridge and
Yes.
then Live by Night, though.
That's true.
We'll revisit this.
Then we'll revisit this. All right, so there's two ways to answer this question. It's which director do you prefer? Which movies do you prefer?
That's true.
Or who's the better director? Now, I would probably say I prefer Ben Affleck's movies more. But I got to give it to Mel Gibson as the better director. And don't get me wrong, when it's all said and done, I think Ben Affleck is going to be one of the best directors of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Better than Mel
I think
Gibson.
he'll be on Mount Rushmore.
I'm just that's my prediction. But as of right now, Mel Gibson is the better director. Ben Affleck has not given us a Braveheart, one of the all-time greatest movies ever made. Ben Affleck hasn't made a movie that had as much social impact as Passion of the Christ. Ben Affleck hasn't made a movie like Apocalypto, which is so bizarre and out of this world and just crazy and like still a great film. Ben Affleck has directed 3 amazing movies. They're all freaking 9s and above. But what Mel Gibson has done thus far has been magical, while what Ben Affleck has done so far has been absolutely great. So I'm going to give it to Gibson, even though I prefer Affleck's films more.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you, Jacob. You know, the level of difficulty for each film that Gibson has done, and not taking anything away from Affleck, because being a director is, you know, directing 3 great movies in a row is not an easy thing to do.
Honestly.
But what Gibson is able to accomplish with what he's going for in these movies is like beyond what anybody could, you know, achieve in their careers. Not many directors can do what Gibson does, you know. I finally saw Braveheart, I think it was earlier this year for like the first time, maybe the second time. I
can't believe it took you that long.
I can't remember. I know, right? I'm ashamed. But man, that movie is just so great. And then Gibson, it's the Academy, it's their opinion, but he does have the Best Director award, you know, under his belt. And they both have a Best Picture. But, you know, it's going to be a great year for both the directors, you know.
I think it'll be very interesting after we watch those 2 movies, for sure.
But
I think, you know, if the Academy leaves out the whole Gibson off-camera stuff that happened, I think both of them
get nominated.
Yeah, I think they'll both be up there.
That would be sick.
I think that they'll both Affleck is kind of in the position Gibson was so many years ago after he did all those films, where he's like on the rise to being this star.
Funny thing is, we haven't mentioned this yet, but they're both actor-directors in a way. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, and they are. So
well, and one is a beloved actor of his time, and one wasn't so a beloved actor. Affleck has not been beloved since like the last few years.
I think he's coming into his own, though.
Oh yeah,
if you've seen The Accountant,
yeah.
The best part of that movie is his performance.
That's good to hear.
He's great in that movie. All right, well, that's going to end Apocaflix movie news. It was great to have Gio back with us again.
Good to be back, boys.
Let us know where they can find you online, Gio.
Oh, man. If you guys want to follow me, you can find me on Twitter at GioRamos24. Check out Apocaflix movies. My laptop is broken, but I'm still sending articles Jake's way, and he's getting them out for me. So
it looks like they're all written by Jake Berlin.
Yep, they're all written by
I'm
Jake.
changing the author. Come on, man.
And check out apocaflixmovies.com, guys.
All right, Jake, where can they find you online, man?
Twitter, Instagram, at Qui-Gon Jake with 2 N's. This YouTube channel every week. Check out the Padawan podcast, All Star Wars. If you're a nerd, you'll love it. Like Gio said, apocalypsemovies.com every day. We're trying to get articles out as soon as we can. We're pretty busy out here with school and work and whatnot, but we're trying to do our best, so give us some support, fellas.
And you can find me, Jacob Bartley, on Twitter at JacobBartley_ on this Apocaflix Movies YouTube channel. We would really appreciate a thumbs up like button or a subscribe. That would really help us out. And yeah, please check out the Padawan podcast. We're trying to do it frequently now. Next week, I'm going to give my thoughts on the novel Ahsoka, which came out. I've been audiobooking it. I might even be done with it by next week. It's a pretty short book, so we'll see. Regardless, I'll give some thoughts on it. So until next time, you all take care.